Hello. It's great to be with you again this week and a chance to just gain some perspective. I've titled today Perspective because I'm finding more and more how we deal with life is based on our perspective. What are the lenses that we're looking at into the world? I'm realizing as I talk about this perspective might be frustrating to some of you. You might not want to hear this, so I'm reading things right from scripture, and I hope that you will be encouraged by it in the midst of maybe your frustration. But I'd like to start out right here with Deuteronomy 31:8. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. Just savor that one for a moment. Sit on it. Romans 8:28. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. Hold it. Feel it. Isaiah 43:1. Don't fear, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name. You are mine. First John 4:18. Perfect love casts out all fear. Psalm 18:2. The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer. What's your perspective? See, I think sometimes we miss these moments with the Lord because we're not looking at our perspective. I know for myself, when I get frustrated, when I get angry, when I feel like things are against me, I sometimes forget the perspective of a fortress, like you see pictured here. I mean, this thing's massive, right? I mean, it's huge. I mean, look at what it would be like to have that fortress. But that's the reality, that the Lord is my rock and my fortress. And see, when you talk about things pressing in, a fortress is designed to withstand the battles. When you look at this and say a rock with a fortress, I mean, you're talking about a perspective that is just so different sometimes than us thinking about being bobbed around in the waves. See, church, I think right now our perspective needs to be a loving, caring attitude. It's really easy for me to get frustrated with the government, frustrated with the fact that there's a disease, get angry at God that he lets a disease happen. I've had so many different conversations this week around COVID. But I want to ask this question. Where's our perspective? We could be at war right now and our lands could be desolated with constant violence. We could be going through a disease that could be far worse. I mean, I could think in my brain and get creative on a lot worse things that could be going on that could get me even more depressed. What I'm trying to say here, I think, is for me personally, I have to go into the fortress. And I'm asking you to go there too. I am asking you to take time with the Lord and get into the fortress. Cheer yourself up. If you start to find yourself getting angry, if you start to feel yourself depressed, start coming into that fortress. And if you're struggling to go to the fortress and to find that rock, to find that encouragement, if you are struggling to feel that, if it's hard for you to do that, if you're struggling with fear and that's frustrating you, if that is getting you upset and you don't know how to look at these things that God is doing good around you, if you are struggling with the fact that you are afraid and that you are discouraged, then you need to reach out to others around you. Do not hold it in. This is not a time for you to hold things in. It is a time to gain positive perspective. I want you to think about this, church. I want you to be open to the fact that he will never leave nor forsake you. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. Romans 8:28, we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. Isaiah 43:1, don't fear, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name. You are mine. 1 John 4:18, perfect love casts out all fear. Psalm 18:2, the Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer. Church, look at your perspective this week. When you're getting ready to speak, where's your perspective coming from? I think it's time for us to continue to be asking God to shore us up, to be our encouragement. I don't need other things and people to encourage me first. I need to seek the Lord. And if I'm lacking that encouragement, if I'm not able to hear that, if I'm not able to see that, I definitely reach out to my peers around me and say, yo, I'm not doing so good today. Can I get some prayer? Hey, I've been struggling lately. Can I get some prayer? Church, we've been given the body for a reason. It's to help us to gain perspective. The Lord gave us scripture for a reason, to help us gain perspective. I'm asking you to look and shift and try to find some perspective, because I believe that the right kind of perspective is how you can love better, how you can love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind, how you can love your neighbor as yourself. Matter of fact, I don't think it's a fact. It's a truth, just like gravity. If you gain perspective of the Lord, you will be able to gain a better handle on life around you and be able to move in different directions. I hope you have a great week this week. I hope this time blessed you. Please drop a line to sroth@llnc.org. I'd love to talk with you more. Have a blessed week.